These were in Phil Coulson's jacket. Guess he never did get you to sign them. We're dead in the air up here. I never put all my chips on that number, though, because I was playing something even riskier. There was an idea. Stark knows this. Called the Avengers Initiative. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people, see if they could become something more. See if they could work together when we needed them to fight the battles that we never could. Phil Coulson died still believing in that idea. In heroes.
My name is Renison Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. Ladies and gentlemen, as I would have said before, what I do here is not a game. Many of the time, not many, but all the time, this thing here is life-threatening. Because there are people in this system that benefit from corruption and from lies. And what we would have started to do here was to start a series of talk in which many of you, members of the public, would have gravitated to. Because this year, this platform here is the court of public opinion. Because many of you have been suffering and have been trampled by this system. And what I'm talking about is the court system. Now every time men especially would have come before the court, most of the magistrates there would have attacked them, their reason, through something in which we call in logic the straw man fallacy. And in the beginning I would have give you a little taste of what is that. The straw man fallacy is when somebody made a misassumption concerning your statement. Here is a non sequitur, but it's a misstatement that is designed to provoke a particular answer from you, to shut down a case. And I would have told you that that is what has been taking place in the Point Fortin court. Some in Superior, sometimes in Sando. But my main focus is to expose the lies that has taken place there and the misrepresentation and the manipulation that has taken place there in that building. So when you come and you, like if you're trying to escape minding your own child, and that is not what you say, she rubbish your statement. That is what they just call the straw man fallacy. How you looking so? Like you just talk to the dead? This corrupted system, this justice system, that is the architect of injustice, is the reason why Trinidad and Tobago is like this. And it had to start from somewhere, you know? Because if the system is crooked, that is carried with the responsibility of doing good and is crooked from the top, what you think is going to happen to this society? So when I come here and talk, and again visit from the police 3 and 4 times a day, yes, marked and unmarked, I ain't gonna call the van number, because I know that there are certain good police that is existing, and I also know that there is rotten eggs. So every time I come here to talk, yes, or you want to send them, go ahead, go ahead. God don't sleep. And the powers that be, that is after me, that is trying and is jumping through hoops. Yes, I notice, because there were certain things I would have said unalive that was omitted from my channel without my consent. This thing is a real fucking. This is not a game. I know that. But the truth at the end of the day, God is the boss. So what your intentions is, know that you have family. Know that there is a God. And whether or not you might get you. Because I can't stop certain things from taking place by hands tied. But God can. Somehow you feel that or you get away with certain things for so long, that or you play in the position of Almighty God. But I'm telling you, God don't sleep. God don't sleep. So what I say that we are doing here is ruffling feathers. It's not a joke. Now we're coming back to the story with what they call the straw man fallacy. When these people rubbish your talk and bring these irrelevant conclusions, and they might say things in a way to get vexed, so when they respond, they shut down the matter. When we talk about the issue about maintenance, when they hear me saying that, yeah, what they go say? Oh, he trying to make excuse for certain people to not to pay. Who is responsible for a child? The answer is logical, the parent. And if the parent is responsible, why only one person had to pay? Whether male or female. Now I could go into a part where I could disrespect people in. But at least the people in Barbados is smart enough to know that some of these women use these systems as a coping method. They can't control certain people. So they use the big bully, the court. Somehow you having relation with some of these warrant men. That is a fact. I born and I meet that. To put more force on you. Yeah, that is what's going on. So in Barbados, the law there is when any one of them would have called for maintenance, 2 people at a point. So if you call for 200, the mother had to pay 100, the father had to pay 100. The mother can't get the father 100 unless she put 100. Or you know what destroying this society? Is when you have a one-sided court system in Trinidad and Tobago. And when you have a system in which does be used to advantage people and which passive virtues is used to take down members of the public. Yeah, we go hold him for 3 days. Yeah, we could hold him for that. That is law. Killing and using that to oppress people. Let me charge him and let me bring evidence to get himself out, shifting the burden of proof. At that time I tell a magistrate that, yeah, she telling me, Totish, I don't know if she maybe take a drink before she come to court. Shifting the burden of proof is you accusing a person and asking that next person to get herself out of nonsense. She tell me about this is not a criminal case. You must be take 2 damn drink. That is what must be take place there. As I say, many a times I would have reached out to many of the bodies and them, the arms of law, and I would have come to understand that these magistrate courts and them that is operating throughout Trinidad and Tobago, these magistrates and them is left unchecked. It had nobody for you to complain to. And that is a fact. Imagine this. I would have asked for some court recordings from the Point Fortin court concerning a particular matter and an extract. The register in Point Fortin court would have come up and say, boy, look at the email here, you know. Look at the email here. Would have told me that I have to wait until the matter done to ask for extract. I can't apply for the recordings in the district court at apply up the road, Port of Spain, court and transcript. That's where I have to apply. These set of games that is taking place here in this country, crime can't stop because it is a business. And the average man will forever be suffering under the tyranny of this system unless you stand up and say something. So many of you would have heard me screaming and talking at the top of my lungs. This what I'm doing here, many can't do it. And the reason why I'm doing it is not because I want to, you know. Something pulling me in this direction. And whatever is pulling me, it had to lead me out. So people, as I say, call the number on your screen. I know my phone tapping. So the sensitive information, we can talk that on our next line. I am willing to work with the police force. I am willing to work with other branch of intelligence in Trinidad and Tobago. Because what I am seeing people would have been observing and feeling and getting throughout. I know this is just the eye of the storm and everything calm down now. But I know it coming. Again, my name is Renison Jeffrey. And this is the Workers' Rights Platform. So to all that dare, like, share, subscribe. And with that out, I ain't gonna stay too long. And we are coming tomorrow with what we call the Borrow of Sorrows, a personal story from an individual would have been facing something that would have been taking place within the public hospital. The Borrow of Sorrow. Tomorrow. My name is Renison Jeffrey and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. Like, share, and subscribe.
The failing justice system, along with the slowness of its administration, makes money for multiple wealthy stakeholders who are not considered criminals, while at the same time impoverishing families who are not yet criminals. Crime is a business in Trinidad and Tobago. It has an economy that is being fueled and regenerated. Therefore, it is an industry. But when we think about solving the crime problem, we only look at the criminal. But we don't look at the faulty infrastructure, the courts, the police, the stakeholders, the decision makers, the politicians who are charged with the management of the systems. We don't look at their failure, but we look at those who are largely victims of an economy that is so unfair, unjust, and biased. So you have the remand yard system, where one family who has a security company makes $40 million a year to transport inmates between the prison and the courts. That $40 million a year is $3.3 million a month, which is $789,200 a week, which is $110,000 a day. But when the inmate goes to the court, the judge tells him, come back on another date at another time, which when he does eventually come back, 2 months or 3 months or 4 months later, he's told to come back again. And there are men in the prison right now, close to 6,000 of them, of which 80% or more are on remand, some of whom have been waiting for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, even 20 years to even have their cases concluded. But when that happens, someone makes money from it. And then the lawyers handle the cases in such ways to ensure that it goes from the magistrate court to the high court, prolonging the process, forcing the family to come up with more money, whose backs are already against the wall, and sometimes they may feel that they have to get involved with other criminal activity in order just to pay the lawyer to prove that they're not criminals in the first place. And then you have those who prepare the meals, those who do the uniforms, those who provide this infrastructure, the security cameras, all different business persons and stakeholders. And so those who are involved in the economy or the industry of crime now have to decide on who they're going to give a contribution to for campaign financing for a political party. And this is when the politicians come like puppets on strings, because the decision makers on terms of where they're going to spend their money are not going to make financial contributions to political parties that will not support their agenda. So it comes right back full circle. And we see now the family of the accused and the accused themselves, even if they're innocent, are being driven towards considering criminal responses simply to manage and handle their existence inside the system. So when we're talking about solving crime, don't just think about the individual who is currently actively engaged in criminal behavior, but look at the persistent and consistent failure of the system that is supposed to be able to provide justice for the masses. But while the rich get richer from their investments in solving and dealing with and managing and handling crime, the poor get poorer, and many turn to crime because of how the system is failing. And this is something that we have to pay very close attention to if we are serious about stopping crime. Eventually, stop looking at the petty street criminal or the thug or the robber, and also take into consideration the impact of the white-collar criminal empire. And reports such as this Guardian newspaper article of August the 3rd, 2019, talking about 40 prominent big fish businessmen who are criminals and involved in major drug trafficking, human trafficking, gun running, linked with gang leaders and murderers, fueling the multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise in this country. And they are named in a police report, but so many of the police themselves are in cahoots with the criminals. And it's like all of the innocent citizens in the gullible population are just there, waiting to be picked off if they refuse to organize themselves and unite.